Good morning.
Good
How are we doing today,
morning.
Karen?
Hi.
Want to check in?
Sure. Do you want to go first this time?
No, because I asked you. I said, you want to check in? You said yes.
Okay, I'll go first. It's short and sweet. I'm tired. I've spent the last 2 days holding space for someone else.
Yeah, it can take a lot out of you. You're holding space. I'm trying to make space. my house is a disaster. Everything's covered in a drop sheet or dust. It's all discombobulating. But I got my first coat of paint on the majority of the room yesterday, so I can see that there's a finish line at some point. So this the next couple of days should allow me to get back into some sort of normalcy. So that'll be nice. But I've always found when my space is cluttered and messy, I feel cluttered and messy. So I want my space back. And it happens to be physical as opposed to like internal. So you asked me what I want to talk about today. And I only really had one thing that came to mind, probably because it happened fairly recently. And this is what I'm calling today. We'll see if it goes here or not, but getting coached and why it matters. I'm going to start by telling a story. So this week, I guess it was Tuesday night. I had made a decision. I had done a lot of research on what I want to do to fix my concrete wall issue. And I had to go to a special supplier in the south end of Ottawa. I drive there, I get there, I go inside, I've got my plan in my head. And I ask, this is the product I want. And once I got them to go get that product, I was asking them what the best concrete would be to pair with that. And I'm expecting a certain answer, and I didn't get that answer. They're like, we put whatever you want there. It's fine. And that kind of threw me for a loop. And then the guy went to the back and said, I've got this other product that is way cheaper, and you can probably use it instead. And I sell this all the time. And it threw me off completely. And when I saw the price tag of the thing that I knew I wanted to buy at like $200, and it's a huge bucket, and I only need probably like this much stuff. And I ended up buying the product that I wanted, and then within 5 minutes switching to the secondary product that only costs $50, and it's just a little spray can. And it threw me off. And I ended up going out to the car after buying the thing I wanted, returning it and buying the new thing, walking out. And then I sat in my car for at least a half an hour trying to figure out, how do I make this new product work with my plan? And I couldn't make it work. I was still going to have to buy something similar to what I already bought and put back on the shelf, basically. Now, that doesn't seem like a big problem, but in my head, it was a big problem because I couldn't make it work. And most of my emotional distress in that half an hour was, I can't go back inside. I've just purchased something, returned it, bought the new thing. Now I can't go back in and return the second thing. And the longer I wait, the worse it gets. And the more I'm trying, so then I go back into my searches and trying to figure out, how do I make it work? And I did this over and over and over again for at least 30 minutes. And that 30 minutes is probably pretty generous. And then part of me was like, I really wish I could talk to somebody about this, because this is ridiculous. Because it's just like an internal battle with myself. Anyways, long story shorter, I went inside. The two guys I dealt with had both left. I dealt with a guy who was just sitting there in the back. And I said, I know you're going to kill me, but I want to buy what I just bought and return the thing I just bought. So he's like, It's fine. No problem. The bucket's still here. They didn't even put it away. It's all good. So I bought what I went for. And then I spent the next hour on the drive home in the back roads, like ruminating in the story of what I had just done and how dumb it was. Right. So what I thought might be interesting is to take this story and to, like, how would coaching have helped me in that moment? Like, I think it would have been invaluable to have had a conversation to get out of the spin that I was in for 45 minutes. So yeah, I think it would have been invaluable just to have an alternate perspective, have questions, be given an opportunity to, like, reflect on, like, what my plan was and why I wanted it, and where I wanted to go, and why my plan was good. Why was my plan was good. I'm pretty sure it was good, and I know I had the right-ish answer, at least the right answer for me, but for whatever reason I couldn't get out of my head.
I don't think you're alone. You know that we often feel that, like, I picked up that you didn't want to go back in. So my first thing is like, what held you back from going back in the second or third time, right? So it's that story we're telling ourselves inside. And when we keep it inside, the only person that can respond to it is who? Ourselves. And we're kind of limited if we stick in here. And what coaching opens up is an opportunity to have expanded a view of it multiple ways. You know, orating it, having person catching it, staying curious, saying, well, what was going on there? What do you want to make? What's the worst thing that's going to happen on either options? Getting you to explore, like you say, those alternate viewpoints of what was putting you on, as we talk about the hamster wheel. We get on the hamster wheel going around and around and around. It's exhausting. It's exhausting. And so we talk about supporting people to get off their hamster wheel, and that getting an opportunity to unpack and ask, kind of discern what's right now, what's getting in the way, what's your fears and worries, so that you can dissect that and get back on your wheel. You may be not going 200 miles an hour. Now you have a rhythm and attraction to move forward. So yeah, how much time do you feel it would have saved you having someone in the car? I'm thinking of you in the car, someone beside you.
Yeah, I mean, I think things would have been different if, let's say, I was with my wife that day, but I was trying to avoid taking her on a trip that she's not going to enjoy. But if we had done that together, we would have talked it through. Right? Even if she's not the subject matter expert, like in coaching, we as a coach are not the subject matter expert. The person who's sitting there in front of you is. So she wouldn't have had the knowledge that I do, and that's fine, but she could have asked me those questions that help me unravel my answers, because it's just all spun up in my own story anyways. You often talked about the word vomit, right? Like getting out that first like, why didn't you want to go in there? Because I'm going to look like a moron. I just bought this, returned it, bought it again. And like, I can't undo this. And people I'll never see again in my entire life. Like what are the odds? But yeah, just having that outside voice to get you to hear some of the things you're saying out loud. First of all, like I told Julie all this stuff when I got home, and she's like, essentially, this is ridiculous. Like, I know you're telling me all of this stuff, but like, it's fine. It's normal. Like, you shouldn't feel embarrassed at all. Like, it's not that as a coach, you're going to tell somebody how they should or shouldn't feel. But I mean, just having outside perspective on that is nice to hear.
I was, as you had popped this topic this morning, the thing I thought was interesting for us is that we spend time supporting people's development to be present and to quieten the voice so that you can be present. Yet in the coaching realm, when we're working with someone else, we want to turn up that voice even louder. We want them to hear it, orate it, notice it. Often it's unnoticed. It's this dialogue that, I don't know, I spend some days here all by myself for the whole day, and I have great conversations. With who? My internal chatter. It's not all bad. So being able to get out everything, you often see, oh, that's why. The nugget of intelligence, of reasoning, of good, problem solving shows up. Are sometimes surrounded by doubt and worry and embarrassment or whatever words we're using. I would say in most coaching conversations, those other voices also show up.
Mm-hmm.
So then they get to hear it, and you can say, so, what's really important here? And they get to make clear the chatter out and find that real good piece of wisdom or knowing, or this is my why, and this is why I'm going to go back into the store, and this is why I'm going to say this is what I want. I'm clearer now, and I'm still not 100%. Here's the word, confident. And I may make the wrong choice. Oh my goodness. Perfection is highly overrated. And so it just allows people permission. So that's the, I say, freeing up of, so isn't it interesting? We're talking about being present and holding space like I did for the last 2 days, minimal chatter coming from me, but allowing that other person's voice to be heard, the worries, the concerns, the fears, the hopes, all of that stuff, so that person could let it all out of their system so that they could decide what was important to them. So it helped them settle and make choices that mattered and were important to them right now. I had so much inside going on for me, worrying, concern for them. Oh my gosh, my planning mode. I have to plan ahead because I think I'm going to need a plan ahead for them. No, Karen, that's not what she needs right now. It doesn't matter. That will all unfold. So I wonder if it's about right timing of things. The right time. What did you need to do right then and there to make a decision? It's that right time. What is that person in there? You so nicely do in letting all that come out, helping them discern what's the right thing that's they need to kind of dive into or discern right now. It sure feels a lot less heavy.
Well, we talk about this often. It's the meeting them where they are. So I think a lot of people have a misconception that all coaching conversations, you go in with your topic and you come out with a master plan. But it's for the most part, that's not how they all work. It's meeting them for that next piece. They may have a broader journey and a broader expectation of where it goes long term. But right now, for me, it's sitting in that parking lot. What's going to get me unstuck, whether it's driving home content with my choice or going back inside and buying what it is that I wanted initially. It doesn't have to be a huge piece, but for that person in that moment in time, it's a huge thing for them because it's blocking them. It's keeping them stuck. So meeting somebody where they are to help them with the piece that they need for them in that moment and trusting that they have that answer for them already.
Yeah, I when I was thinking about what we talk about in the workshop we did on the topic doesn't matter, what came up for me yesterday was there's multiple topics in a topic. And so when we have a topic, which is important to put a context, in coaching we talk about what's the context they're presenting. But inside of that are multiple layers of the topic. And they could be multiple topics, which is when we stay attached to the context of the big topic, that's where we can often be not meeting them where they are right now. So getting curious about what's underneath all of that, because there's multiple layers or perhaps multiple topics of this that need to be explored for them to really focus on that thing that's super duper important to them that they're seeing right now.
Yeah. Right time. I also thought that this might be why some people struggle with picking a coaching topic when we do like a workshop or basically workshops in this or peer coaching circles or things like that, because people don't want to look like they're inadequate in any way. They don't want to look silly or stupid. If like, would I be comfortable bringing up this one in the moment while it's fresh and I'm feeling as dumb as I can be? Do I want to bring that up? Do I need support there now? Yes. But am I ready to share this with somebody else and be okay with whatever I decide to share? Am I okay receiving back questions on where I'm feeling most vulnerable right now?
Well, you just said the word, really important word, which is the word vulnerable. I like the idea that we're just being authentically real. And I think what we find in the coaching circles, once people find a topic and they are able to be in an experience, they realize, first of all, that it's refreshing to be able to just be this is what's kind of preoccupying me right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is what's top of my mind. And, you know, for some of us, maybe even keeping us up at night. And it may seem trivial, there's the word, or it may seem ugly, but it's what's keeping me up at night. And then what we find out is we've all feel that there's similar times where we felt the same way. So people start to realize, oh my gosh, this isn't just me. This world is quite isolated these days. In just being able to speak without judgment, I'm practicing that. We did a podcast on that, which was very helpful for me. To my new way of being is that need to be said, really. And if you haven't got anything good to say, then just don't say it. That saying has a lot of merit. So I like that we, the idea of like, that was important. I could feel for you. Like in that that's relatable to me. Having to pick a paint color is like, needle in my eye of pain and that's just how I roll. Cause it's a big decision and it's a big room. It's a lot of work if you got to repaint that, as you know. So there's just where my husband, I bring home the pink and he goes, that one, like he's just totally different, but he has his own hamster wheel. Mm-hmm. It's quite different than mine. And I think that's interesting to touch on is, we all have something that puts us on that wheel. No one goes unscathed on this one. And so when we do coaching and we practice it with other people, we get to see the different ways what is important to them and what they sometimes get stuck in, or they want to do a good job on, or they want to mobilize, or they want to tackle. And we learn from their topic and how they approach it. That's why I love the group stuff that we do, Ian, because everybody benefits from your topic. Mm-hmm. Or how you are in your topic, not just the topic itself. It's like, okay, I learned something about how the way Ian's going to tackle that for himself. That one resonates with me. I'm going to put that on my toolkit of how I'm going to approach that when it shows up in me. So the multiple layers of learning and coaching it's everybody's learning together. There isn't just one person benefiting. I talked about this before. There's mutual trust and mutual respect. There's no hierarchy. We grow as humans, regardless of whether we're the person with the gift of offering coaching or the person that's bringing a topic to navigate and be successful around.
It's funny. I've often felt guilty is not the right word, but I've often felt I'm going to use it because I can't find a better word right now. Guilty about charging people to coach them when I learn from them while I'm coaching them. I know they're getting a benefit on the other end. That's the reason they keep coming back and came back for years. But it's like, maybe I should give a free one. I don't know, because like I felt like I got more out of that than it felt like you did. So yeah, I always thought that was kind of an interesting way to look at it, especially because if you're open to the process and you're really engaged in it and you're providing your full authentic version of yourself to somebody, there's always an opportunity to learn something.
Well, because coaching, I see, brings that deep wisdom of the other person up to and out. So we're getting the benefit of that wisdom of others when we're coaching someone. So you're right. There's these, like, and I'm only laughing at you, Ian, because I just did what you said. This last person came back to me and just wanted one coaching conversation, and I would not let her pay me. So I'm laughing as you say it. I just said, no, I can't. This one's a freebie. And there was a couple of reasons why it was a freebie, but I have learned so much from her. I just felt like, no, this one, it's a pro bono one for me, for her. So I'm laughing as you said it because I just did it. And of course she was insisting on paying me. And I said, please let me do this. Let me do this for me. I need this one for free. So it worked out well. But yeah, it was just funny that you said that because I just did it.
Yeah, that's cool.
So for anybody out there that, is in our capacity building or in this kind of coaching relationship with someone, just recognize the gift you're giving them when you are being coached. This isn't, don't feel that you're the one that's, gaining, the only one that's gaining from the experience. You truly do gain in both roles. There's growth and development and wisdom, and something happens that impacts that other person as well.
Yeah, I think you also you learn your role as a coach, I think, even more deeply when you practice from the other perspective. When you sit in the hot seat and you get asked those probing questions and need to dig deep into yourself. Knowing how it feels to be asked those types of questions, I think supports you in your growth and your ability to coach others.
I have something coming up that might feel weird, but I see coaching space as unconditional love.
I had a similar thought when I was thinking about why people don't bring up coaching topics is they don't want to look silly or dumb. But I think when people show up, as I believe we do, with a judgment-free lens, you're there just to hold the space and allow them to explore it, and let them do with it what they want. And I think that space allows the possibility for that vulnerability to go there. And I know if I talk to you about my situation from Tuesday, I wouldn't even blink at telling you what I was experiencing on the inside, because I know it's safe. I know it's okay to be open and vulnerable, and whatever comes out, because it's always been a safe space.
That's important. What you just said, it's this.
Why so?
Well, yeah, it struck me as that the safe space, that comes with not what we do, it's how we show up. There's just this sense of, you can see it emulating from that person, that's that mutual trust and respect, which is part of the conditions of development, which some people continue to learn. It's in conversation for relationship, building a trusting relationship, and it doesn't take, people think this is like months and months. it can be very, very, and that's what we've heard from when you create this safe landing space and the conditions for that. The safe space, really, really important. And I'm going to say the big thing about coaching, if you're going to enter that realm, whether you're a professional or an amateur, if you don't have confidentiality, you're done. You will not be called again. You will not be sought out. It will get out there. That safe space means this is a place. What did Brene Brown calls it? The vault.
Mm.
The vault. That when you're here, there's a vault. It gets locked in the vault. So that's really important in the conditions of safe space. And I think, again, in unconditional respect and trust.
Cool. Final thought?
Well, then let you do the final thought. This was your topic. I'm feeling content.
Coaching matters. Coaching matters. If you feel stuck or are not progressing, you feel preoccupied. I like the word that you used. If you feel preoccupied with something, it is a worthy topic to explore. So hopefully you have somebody in your life that you can have ask you those questions to support you in exploring why you're stuck and what you want to do, whatever that step is. I should have called you.
Thank you for the topic today, Ian. That was awesome.
Thank you. Take care, everybody.
Take care.